Hello everyone, Elite Clockwoman here. Literally not long ago, part 1 of episode 19 was released, and in it we saw a dynamic battle between the Speaker Man and the clowns. And also at the end of the video, we saw the same clown Pennywise and the SKIBIDI scientist. And this means that part 2 will be legendary, where we will see the battle of the Titans against the scientist. Also in this episode, there were some interesting details. So in this video, we will try to find out what plan the SKIBIDI scientist has, and also what will happen in part 2 of episode 19. But before we get into all this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are also waiting for TV Man Titan. And here we go. Also, one of the subscribers wanted to ask the Dom Studio about the QR code that was on the weapon of the Titan cameraman, and I asked him about it, and this is what he answered. It's just for the model. So it doesn't have any meaning. And also thanks for the support, Titan Camera 33. Anyway, let's move on to the analysis. At the beginning of the episode, we see a special POV cameraman who was in an exclusive video with whom the Dom Studio was shared with me. And we see how he plays with his miracle pen. Also in this shot, we see the inscription circus, which confirms that this is an abandoned circus. We also see that this agent has a different uniform, and he is special, and he also has special abilities. And this means that in the future, we will see even more special agents POV, since it was in episode 17 where we saw a POV camerawoman. And this is very pleasing. We also see that he is spying on the clowns, and we already see how one of the clowns is patrolling territory. And then we already see a group of 3 clowns who are communicating with each other, and we can notice how the special agent covers his ears while the clowns began to talk. And probably because their sound is really disgusting and perhaps too loud for him. We can also notice a green liquid on the ground, and I have 2 options what it is. It is possible that it is acid, since we know that SKIBIDI toilets are used acid in their weapons. And the second option is that this is an abandoned lake, since it is on abandoned lakes that there is such green water, and it seems to me that this circus is located on an abandoned lake. But also write your versions in the comments. But the agent stepped on something and made a noise, and the clowns noticed it. And now we see the special ability of this agent. He used ink from his pen and splashed it on his hand, and he became invisible, and this is an amazing ability. And with its help, he can quietly monitor the toilets. Press like button if you would also like to have this ability. And a second later, a clown came to check what kind of noise it was, and he looks around. But since our spy is not visible, he cannot notice him, and he leaves. And also in this frame, we can notice the inscription house, and near this house, we see scary mannequins. And this means that this is a house of horrors, which is also found in some circuses in real life, or a house with funny clowns that jump out at you at unexpected moments. The sign also says that this is a fun house, but I definitely wouldn't go there looking at these creepy clowns. But a second later, we see a flying toilet that fell to the ground. We also see a crazy clown who is laughing, and finally we see the Titan Speakerman who came to deal with these clowns, and this crazy clown immediately begins to attack him. And a second later, we see the Speakerman shooting with a laser at this clown, but the clown dodges and flies into close combat and grabbed the Speakerman, and the Speakerman tried to take him off. But other clowns also attacked him, and we can notice that the Speakerman can release his claws to catch enemies, just like this was done by Titan Drillman in episode 11. And Speakerman successfully caught this clown and threw him to the ground and started shooting lasers at other monsters. But the clowns don't give up and start attacking him. And the Speakerman decided to refresh one of the clowns and stuck his face in the water and successfully fried the other clown. Also in that frame, we can see in detail the cannon of this mutant, from which he shot at the Speakerman earlier, and it is quite powerful since there was a big explosion. Also, when the fried clown exploded, we can notice green smoke after it, and this means that they are made from unusual materials, and perhaps they can cause some damage if they explode nearby. But suddenly, someone shot a very powerful laser at the Speakerman, and it turned out that it was a crazy clown who was sitting on the house, and we can notice that he has a core, and it's the same as G-Man's in the original SKIBIDI toilet, and it's damn powerful, as we see a very large laser beam. And this clown starts laughing and splashing his hands, and he clearly has problems with the brain. But why am I saying this? This is already evident from him. And he laughs from the Speakerman, but the Speakerman slowly approaches that clown and begins to beat him. And in this frame, we can see the inscription, "Spank" on his turbines. But perhaps this also means nothing like the QR code that was on the cameraman Titan gun. We can also notice a new weapon on his back, and it's a large axe for close combat. But in episode 17, he didn't have an axe, and it was probably at a local sale over the weekend. And Speaker Man delivers powerful blows and also releases a sound wave to drown out this crazy clown, and this clown fell to the ground, and it seems that he will no longer bother us. But we noticed another clown who was watching all this, and it is clear from him that he does not want to be beaten up as well, and tries to escape, but gets hit by a hammer from the cameraman and explodes. And finally, our brothers are together, and the Speaker Man shows thumbs up. But suddenly, he was shot from a clock gun, and the Speaker Man froze for a second. But it turns out that he can resist this weapon, and he was able to move again. But how is he able to resist this ability? In fact, because he has a Clockman watch that protects against temporary abilities, the watch is very difficult to notice, but it is there in this frame. And we already know that it was the SKIBIDI scientist who fired from it, and also from behind, we see the clown Pennywise. And it's immediately important note that Pennywise is as large as the SKIBIDI scientist, and the SKIBIDI scientist is about the same size as the Titans. And they are quite strong opponents, since the scientist has acid and also powerful lasers, and we also don't know what abilities Pennywise has, but I am sure that he is very strong, and it will not be easy for a Titan to fight with these two. We can also notice that now the scientist is without glasses, although he had glasses in episode 18, and he also has a scar on his eye, but this scar was originally on this model of the scientist whom we saw in episode 14. And the scientist began to smile, and this means that he is confident in himself and is not afraid of the Titans. But the cameraman also showed that he is not afraid of them, and like a real Giga-Chad, he waved his hand at them so that they would attack. We can also notice that a green light shines on the cameraman's weapon, but after a second, it disappears and then appears again. And it looks like this green light is coming from the ground, and it is also on the Speaker Man. But I can't say exactly what it is, so write your versions in the comments. And after the cameraman waved his hand, the episode ends. And now let's discuss some of my theories. What can we expect from part 2 of episode 19? We will see a fierce battle between the Titans and the scientist. Perhaps we will even see TV Man in this episode. Since in the original SKIBIDI toilet, there was also a battle between the scientist and the Titans lost there, and then TV Man Titan came to the rescue. And perhaps we will also see TV Man Titan in part 2 of episode 19. And by the way, we forgot about G-Man. We haven't seen him in this series for a very long time. And when the Titans fought against the scientist in the original series, we also saw him, but it has already been improved, and perhaps the Dom studio also wants to improve G-Man, and we will also see him in the future. But I don't think that he will appear in episode 19, since the scientist has a partner, Pennywise. Although we do not know the abilities of Pennywise, it seems to me that the Titans will be able to defeat the scientist without the help of TV Man, since now they are at their peak of strength. And we also have not seen all the abilities of Cameraman Titan, and do not forget that he has claws, and they will definitely be able to greatly harm the toilets in close combat. And I think that in part 2, the Titans will defeat the toilets, and the scientist will also escape from the battlefield as always. And already in episode 20, we will see the big battle that the Dom studio was talking about in the description under episode 18. And it is in this episode that we will see the Titan TV Man and perhaps some new characters. Also write your theories about part 2 of episode 19, and also write what details I missed in my analysis. And if you enjoyed watching, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, as an interesting video will be released on my channel soon. Elite Clockwoman out.